Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Bahala Monday. Wonderful to have you here with us today. Welcome, everybody. My name is Dougal. As always, I am not alone because next to me, the wonderful Rhoda.
And Dougal, I wasn't sure if I should mention this, but you never walk alone because I know there's been some terrible weekends that has happened, but we shall not mention that because we know that one of our guys sitting at the back is from another team, opposite team to us, obviously. But we'll never walk alone because I'm next to you.
100%. 100%, and it doesn't matter. And this show started off so well for 10 seconds, and then Rhoda
just ruined it.
Yes.
Sorry, Dougal.
No, that's all right. It's all right. It's back on track. It's okay, Rhoda. We're all right.
No problem.
Yeah, we're good. But yes, thank you very much for being here with us. Before we go any further, what we would love you to do is definitely like, share, and more importantly, subscribe. So if you could do us that big favor, that will be brilliant. That will help us. That will help you because you'll know exactly when we bring you a fabulous show, as we always do. And trust us, this is a live broadcast. So more importantly, we encourage your interaction. If you've got a comment, question, definitely pose it to us. But when I say us, not really, because we've got fabulous guests for you this evening. I've been excited about this one and actually looking forward to it because tonight, in proud association with the Word Magazine, boy, where do you even start? How do you even intro our guests this evening? I think it's easier to ask them probably, tell us the places you haven't been to.
Exactly. I think it's a good one.
That's one way to say it. Because I really don't think there's probably a place they haven't been to. But maybe there's. I'll ask that question. Secondly, this is a great question because if you are in management, if you are in business, more importantly, if you're a business owner, and you're thinking to yourself, how do I inspire? We're talking business leadership. We're talking business strategy here. We have renowned speakers for you and people who work within the sphere. And they've not just been here, they've been everywhere. So this is like Springbok level.
Yes,
because that's
international.
like world champions.
That's true too.
I'm only
world
saying
champions.
that because the next World Cup will be in a place, Rugby World Cup, which is very familiar to our guests. That's the only reason I'm saying it. Without further ado, with us tonight here on the Bahala Monday is Mike Hancock and Landy Jack. They're with us here this evening. Welcome.
It's wonderful
Sorry about the Aussie thing there, but I had to throw the Springbok thing in there.
No, I don't care. I don't support the Aussies. I'm an All Black.
I was going to make that very clear.
I had to do that too.
Welcome, oh my word, welcome.
Great to have you
here.
here.
Thanks for having us.
And firstly, thank you for taking the time out to be with us because I mean we know you're very busy people.
Why
thank you.
You guys are all over the place. Quickly, how many countries have you been to? Top of your head, do you know?
Oh.
Yep.
How many?
Gone.
I'm behind. I'm on 50 countries. I'm 56
50
actually the other day.
different.
56 countries.
Wow.
Mike is on
114 at the moment.
140. I just can't keep up. Yeah.
Wow.
Now, the second, when you say that, I'm now trying to figure out how many countries are there.
195 according to the UN. Probably some you don't want to go to.
Oh wow. So you've been around the world. Oh.
Yeah, all right. That's,
Gee whiz.
yeah. You know, explorers never explored that much, just by the by.
Just by the by.
There are captains of major airlines going, I haven't done that, and I've been a pilot for 50 years.
Yeah, but we have rules. You have to, when you stay in the airport, it doesn't count like as a country, right?
No.
You have to get out of the airport, then it
passport.
counts as a country. So
That makes sense.
114, I think you've just done 115.
Might be 115, yeah.
Yeah, 56 for me.
I give it what, yeah, it's sort of
Gee
fine.
whiz.
But it is really fabulous to have you here because we've actually been looking forward to this because I mean the two of you are obviously, you know, household names in terms of what you do and quite recently.
We are in our household.
And quite recently you graced the cover of the Word Magazine.
Yeah, we did.
Oh, beautiful.
And what was that like?
Wonderful magazine, I have to say. Great interview. They really do a good interview. So I think it was lovely for us to be on the cover as a couple because so many magazines and people who do articles and interviews and that want either one or the other of us.
Yeah.
Whereas, you know, we are a couple, we do everything together, we travel together. So I think just being together on that article was fantastic.
We've worked with the team of Word Magazine for quite some time now. They're just a wonderful, wonderful group of ladies. So it was very special for us to be asked to be on the front of the magazine.
Oh, that's sweet.
No, that's fantastic. That is fantastic. But you're absolutely right. They do amazing work, and they're also, in this instance, obviously highlight the excellent work that the two of you been doing. How long have you been doing this? Where did this all start? To people watching this now, they want to know exactly.
They want to know exactly.
What has been the story? Where did this all happen?
You know, when you travel the way we do, every time we leave the front door, I say to Mike, say goodbye to our apartment because we're going to come back a different person again.
Wow.
So when you ask us how did this start, it feels almost like you're talking about 700 lifetimes ago because we've been through so many learning cycles as individuals. You think you've reached a version of yourself and then you leave again. Like our next upcoming trip is 4 months and then you come back a completely different person. But it started way back for Mike in his business, and maybe you want to talk about how it started for him, and it only got together for the two of us in 2014. But pre-Mike, I was a consultant in Johannesburg. Okay. And I lived the consulting life where I was flying between Joburg, Cape Town, and had local and international clients as a consultant. And then when we met, Mike came in with the personal and professional development industry, which is very, very different for a corporate boardroom consultant type of person. And so our mission was then to put that together and get onto the same page to develop what's now known as the Circle of Excellence group of companies.
Wow.
And that is what you've been doing. And Mike, for you?
Yeah.
I left corporate in 2002 and became an entrepreneur. Prior to that, I was general manager sales and marketing of what was New Zealand's biggest financial services company. And I wanted to become an entrepreneur, so I became an entrepreneur. I started a construction company and a seminar business to sell houses, mainly for investment. Yeah. And then I just went, I don't want to really do this anymore. I want to really help people. And so I got into personal and professional development probably 2003, early 2004. So it's been 20-something years now. And then when Lundy and I met, 11 or 12 years ago as it was now, we just put both the businesses together. And if she tells you the truth, she came into the business.
What is he going to say now?
4 days after we met, we were running we were running a seminar in Cape Town. Yeah. I think we had about 180 people there, and I said to her, "So you're on next?" And she said, "Sorry, what?" I said, "You're speaking next." She said, "What am I going to speak about?" I said, "Anything you want." And she's a natural, and she got up there. Everybody loved her, and the rest is history.
I'm a speaker by default, but what Mike won't tell you is that it's so lovely when we got together. It was a match made in heaven, because he will always tell you that he wants to change the world, which is really beautiful, and he does want to change the world, and I want to take over the world. So it's always good. What a combination! So it's a very good person. Always good to have a villain around.
Oh yeah! Oh, how cool is that?
So this is the early 2000s.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
This is where, at that time, when it came to personal and professional development, that was almost like a booming time for that sort of sector. Because prior to that, even I never heard of that. Where people, like where the motivational speakers, whether there was a strategist, consultants coming in for business, that's something you never really heard of it. Was that a sort of, can I say, golden age of the? I'm sure it was around.
I guess you could think of it like that, and certainly it was for me in some descriptions, because different areas were opening up. So when I first got into it, my very first talk I gave was actually in Singapore. And I got this job, and I thought, this is going to be a big audience, financial services audience. I think it's going to be 1,000 people, right? I got there, it was 18,000 people.
Oh, wow.
Surprise.
And I was really surprised, but that gave me 3 years' work in Asia. So for the first 3 years I was doing that, I was living in Auckland, and every week I was on a plane to Macau or Hong Kong or Tokyo, or the list goes on and on and on. And for those areas, it was really new, and they would literally throw money at you. I literally had people throwing money at me for books and courses and things like that. In America, it had been around for 20, 30 years before that. And I think, when I first started coming to South Africa in 2007, it still was quite new here. There were other speakers. I mean, Robin Banks is a good friend of mine, and I let him stay in my house in New Zealand when he was over there working. So he was already getting into the marketplace around 15, 20 years ago now. But there weren't too many others here of too much note at that stage. So it was it was one of those weird and wacky things at the start of an industry. It's full of cowboys and wannabes, right? But then it got cleaned up because of the global financial crisis in 2008. Cleaned up again during COVID. So, we survived 2 cleanups. So we'll see if we can do a third one whenever that comes.
But within your life, there can't be, I suppose, like you mentioned a friend that also does what you do. And I suppose within your line of work, there'll be many collaborations with other speakers and all of that. But there can't be many couples doing this.
I was going to say no.
It's very rare.
There's not a lot of them doing it. I mean, I'm Mike's wife, so I'm allowed to brag. He's the president of the Global Speakers Federation at the moment. And I guess that makes me the white lady. But... we do feel incredibly fortunate and blessed to be able to be doing this together because we are honestly opposites from each other. So we bring very different perspectives. We bring Mike's professional and personal development perspective, and we bring my corporate and boardroom perspective, and we're doing it to help conscious leaders play a bigger game, whatever that looks like for people.
Do you find that is something that differentiates you as a world-renowned and award-winning duo, which you are?
Oh, definitely. I think, but it surprises us that even though, and I think it's a sign of the times, even though people know this about us, we get somewhere and they're quite surprised that Lundy does as much as what she does in some places. So we sort of run events and like Lundy will do 60, 70% of the event and people are like, oh, okay, well, Lundy's really good, isn't she? And like, well, hello, it's the two of us. But I find it quite surprising that still surprises some people. And not all the time, but it does. So I think for us, it's constantly, we've got very different skills. And Lundy just said that we come from very different backgrounds. Both, geographically, but the way we were growing up, our interests are different and everything like that. So we bring 2 different things. And I think, working with any sort of client, it also gives the yin and the yang perspective as well. It gives a South African, so if you want an African perspective and a South Pacific perspective, but between the 2 of us, we have a global perspective. The only place we haven't worked on is Antarctica. She wanted to, but I said no at the time. I don't like the cold.
Mike likes the heat, I like the cold.
You see, that's the difference again, the yin and the yang.
Yin and yang,
and obviously that dynamic, and I'm loving that, because for people that actually obviously come and listen to the 2 of you, this is what inspires them, is because the 2 of us are also not the same. So you will bring that perspective from your side, and you're like, okay, I connect with you, and obviously the vice same with you. I will connect with you. So that dynamic, obviously in business, you find that helps business owners as well. Especially you find more partnerships happening these days, collaborations happening with different personalities obviously gets together. I mean, you had a meeting earlier, we know that was with how many countries, and all of these people having to obviously get on the same page. How do you manage that, especially in the new age we're at right now?
Well, 2 ways really. The first thing is that when we got together, we had to get onto the same page. It was, I think people look at it and they go, look, it's a match made in heaven. So when we got together, we realized Mike's got a lifetime before me and I had a lifetime before him. And so we dropped everything and went on an 8-month sabbatical to get onto the same page, to get our values aligned, to get our brands aligned, to get our businesses aligned, to get our relationship aligned. So we made the effort, and we are having a smooth time now, because we're with each other all the time, 24/7, all the time. So because we took that 8 months to get onto the same page, it's really added value to us understanding each other now, understanding the differences and celebrating it and also have very, very clear role clarification. Okay. The other part to that question is we do make use of elements, which may be a bit surprising, but we are very aware of the fact that Mike is a Sagittarius, metal ox, which means a mixture of fire and metal. And we're very aware of the fact that I'm a Gemini, which is air, fire snake, which is a mix of air and fire. And we make use of the dynamics of Eastern and Western elements to help us with certain things that's going to be compatible and certain things that's not. And we encourage our clients, and when we have collaborations and partnerships, we look at those elements as well. So we use various modalities actually to set the collaboration, whether that's a marriage or a partnership, whatever, up for success.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I wanted to ask you that because you kind of, in a way, almost touching it on, because you mentioned in the short moment you got very different backgrounds. But you don't just operate and work in your own backyard. I mean, as we've established, you really cover the globe. Now, when you go to the Far East, and we all know there's a big difference in terms of doing business, let's say, the Western way and the Eastern way.
Very, yeah.
But over the last couple of years, and let's say, you know, we've been saying the world is a global village. Companies have gone sort of international, so that, you know, wherever the holding company, they operate all over the planet. We see it with fast foods, we see it with massive retailers. Then the advent of online shopping and all of these things taking place. Now there's an AI element happening and all of this. In terms of when, are there common threads that we, as let's say as Westerners or South Africans, that we sometimes take for granted? That we might think, oh, it's not like that in the Middle East, or it's not like that in the subcontinent, or the Far East, or the Far West, or wherever. Are there those commonalities?
100%. The world is really a lot smaller, Dougal, than what people may think. Like, doesn't matter where you go in the world, doesn't matter if you're in Riyadh in Saudi Arabia, or you're in Ho Chi Minh City in Vietnam, or you're in New York City, right? It doesn't matter. People want love. They want to make money. They want to do something that's passionate and have a purpose, and they want to create a better life for themselves and their family. Those things don't change, doesn't matter where you are. So with that commonality of us as human beings, there's the idiosyncrasies, like we go to the East Coast of the US, where there aren't many South Africans, and they're like, can you all speak a bit more, love? You know, it's sort of like they want her to speak, right? And they love her because they don't hear that accent. But if she goes to New Zealand, for instance, she just sounds like half of Auckland because half of Auckland's South African. So sometimes you're not celebrated in your own backyard as well. So you've got to make use of the differences. I remember the first time I'd been to India many times. When we met, I said to Landi, we're going to India. And when I said we're getting there, I said, be aware we're going to have photographers chasing us. She goes, why? I said, because here we're unique. And so we ended up basically having 50 photographers taking photos of us at one event. And she goes, wow, there are a lot of photographers, aren't there? And I said, that's because the guy standing behind us is the biggest movie star in the whole of Bollywood, Amitabh Bachchan, right? He's like the George Clooney of Bollywood. I said, we're not actually in the photos. We're just getting our photos in the background. But we were in the photos the next day, and all the paper standing next to him.
We had our moment of glory. Yeah. We had our moment. But it's interesting when you travel like this. You start out looking for differences because you're now learning about the different cultures.
Yeah.
Then you realize there's more similarities than differences. And then you start realizing that you and a fellow South African that looks the same and come from the same culture are so different from each other. And then you're and a Malaysian person who was raised completely different than you are exactly the same.
Yeah.
That's the beauty, yeah.
Because you mentioned it earlier, like in a way, like you celebrate your differences. And that's a big thing for us as South Africans as well. We really celebrate those differences. And we always tell the differences as the unique element. But as you alluded to, we really all the same. Because the reason I ask it, and I set it up like that, is because when it comes to business and strategy, conscious leadership in business is now more vital than anything else.
100%, yep.
So that being similar is now more important than anything else, right?
Well, I think people's definition of what conscious leadership is very varied around the world. And so, if I said to our viewers out there, what's conscious leadership, we would get hundreds of different opinions in. So the idea of conscious leadership, to me, I have a very definite opinion of it, but the idea for everybody is quite different. So the first thing you need to do is get on the same page of what does that mean for you? So if we're working with a leader in, I don't know, Japan, for instance, we say, what's conscious leadership? It might mean something entirely different than if we're working with somebody in Cape Town.
I invented a conscious leadership quote just recently because I needed a quote for our magazine, Lead Magazine. And I was thinking, I have a space here open, what shall I say? And I really put some good thought into it. And I thought, because there's a lot of people out there, there's a lot of movements now that sees conscious leadership as you have to be perfect. you mustn't do this wrong and you mustn't do that wrong. And for me, it just doesn't ring very well. So I thought, conscious leadership really is not necessarily that you're perfect. It's not even that you're doing this massive thing that's making an impact. It's your capacity to love yourself and others.
Wow.
If you can do that, then I personally think you're conscious. Yeah.
And I think to pick up on that is the basis of conscious leadership for me. I've never seen anything better than what appeared in Forbes magazine in 2016. And it said, conscious leadership is not about saving the planet. It's about the leader's preparedness to do the deep inner work inside themselves to turn up as the best and most authentic version of themselves.
There you go.
And that is what
Exactly.
love yourself. Because when you now said, like, people have varied opinions about it, I actually for a split second thought, and in my mind, it's always been, is it free to all and fair to all concerned? That's the closest thing in my mind. Stop that. Write it down.
Gold star for Dougal.
But that is immediately where I went, because when I now further think about it, and especially where we are now, everything what you do is kind of got to be environmentally friendly. Then for businesses, when businesses operate in a certain way, it's got to have the impact on the community, the society, whether they are legislative things that need to be met for business, especially in South Africa, a unique way for us to do business. There's a long list when we bring in all those things. So it is such a big thing now, more than it's ever been, because 5 years ago, I never heard this concept of conscious business or leaders. I've never heard.
Yeah, I think we're partially guilty for bringing that into people's mindsets because we've written so much about it. I mean, we wrote a book about it in 2020 that was an Amazon #1. But I think that the thing here is we used to talk about, you'd get together with a CEO and you'd talk about what's a win-win strategy. These days I'm going, what's a win-win-win-win strategy? So a win for you, a win for us, a win for the greater good, and a win for the conscious awareness of the planet.
Wow.
And if you can do that, and it becomes really simple stuff. So for anybody listening to this, anybody watching this out there, to me it's very much, if the footprint that you leave when you finish doing what you're doing allows the world to be a better place for you having done it, then you're probably a conscious leader.
Oh, wow.
Gee whiz.
It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because it sounds complicated.
It doesn't need to be any more complicated.
I was going to say it sounds very complicated.
We can give you the ISO standard, but no.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to understand that, right? Just focus on doing what's right every day.
Is that you with the guitar there?
Oh, yeah, that's definitely me up there.
Oh,
I was a professional musician for 12 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's like so cool.
It's a nice photo, isn't it, of Lundy?
It's stunning, stunning. I love that photo. I do believe we have a comment there.
Yeah, we got some comments there. Definitely keep them coming as well.
Nicole,
How's
hey,
it, Nicole? Nicole says, good evening, servant leadership.
Servant leadership
all the way.
Yep.
And what a wonderful phrase that is. Thank you very much for
Jabbar.
that. Jabbar says, how's it, everybody? Hi, Jabbar. Hope you're well. Good to hear from you as well. Hubert said we shouldn't just accept differences. We should celebrate
100%.
Celebrate them by embracing every culture, voice, perspective. We create smarter communities and a nation that thrives together. That is a wonderful sentiment as that. So also, that's a great sentiment we hear there from you. And also what Nicole said, servant leadership. That is kind of what we're touching on here.
I think servant leadership is a part of conscious leadership. And servant leadership is about, as a leader, I am in service to you, whether you're my employee, whether you're the customer, whether you're the greater economy, etc. That's a great way to think about it. But I think where it gets confused, it means that you shouldn't lead or be a powerful and impactful leader. Whereas if something's not right, you need to become powerful and impactful. You need to change it. And I think these days, where I see corporations suffering, I don't know what you think about this, is that they're so busy being politically correct that they accept second best all the time. And I think that's where we've got to get that balance. Being politically correct is great, okay? But if we put that first instead of creating impact that can help thousands of people by doing what we should do. It needs to have that balance. So servant leadership to me is just a subset of conscious leadership.
Well, I think that's something we as, South Africans does so well. I'm so proud of it. We sometimes will put politically correctness a little bit aside for a true, authentic conversation. And I'm generalizing now, but so many people in the world are struggling with that. They'll rather please the person next to them than say, hey, we've got differences, let's talk about those differences. I honestly think South Africa is at the forefront of that. So much so that when we put big summits together and we need to have a speaker on stage for diversity, we choose a South African.
There's nobody else you should choose.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
makes me proud.
I get that. And I love that. I love the whole thing, servant leadership, because, like you said earlier, it can mean so much, and it is a subsection of that, like really being consciously aware. I love it. I think it is a great term.
It is, and I think for a lot of the people watching today, you see all these podcasts and all these people and all this success, and you can very quickly go, but am I making an impact? Am I of service? But you're of service when you're a mom or a dad and your kids needs you. Yeah. You're of service when you're a CEO of a company. You're of service when leading up a community. The definition of service is not something that has to be seen online. It is those silent tears and sacrifices behind the scenes as well that no one sees too. That's conscious leadership.
Jeez.
I want to ask you this, and I just want to shift it here quickly because, obviously, I told you guys the show was going to be so long, but as we can all see, this is not that was an untruth.
We have to watch our time.
Yeah. I'm going to have to add a little 5 minutes. But anyway, let me ask you this. We live in a very different 2025 is unrecognizable from 2024, likewise, and let's not even remember COVID, but we've gone through COVID. Imagine COVID was never there. Today, life happens in terms of social media. Everything, we don't really get news from, our traditional sources. It is somebody's opinion on a podcast, and everybody's got a podcast.
True.
There we go. So this is the one thing. So the world has changed. Our opinions are gathered differently. Information is received very, very differently. We're moving very, very fast. When we talk about professional and especially within your space, when you try and help and assist people professionally and personally in terms of that growth sector, social media is so big. The rules have changed. The way we operate have changed. Sure. Politically, it has changed throughout the globe. What was normally something just very far right seems to be so mainstream today. Across the globe, we see this, as well as far left. And when we have political leaders just making things that somebody would never have said in 2010. And now you've got little kids saying the same thing. And people everything is unrecognizable.
Not a boring moment.
To how it's been before. Are we moving too fast, lacking the skills and the knowledge to understand the now, if that makes sense, within this crazy?
It's a great question. Do you want to handle it or shall I?
I'll go and then you go. I don't think we have the privilege of hanging around learning the new environment. And I think that is not only a challenge for leaders at the moment, but for the human species at the moment, is to adapt with the speed of change at the moment, which is happening really, really quick. But for me, and this is actually one of Mike's sayings that I'm stealing, the microcosm is always a reflection of the macrocosm. So I think, hasn't life always been like that? You have to adapt and you have to, now we're looking at the world changing from an AI point of view and a geopolitical point of view and all that. But if you look at a normal life, marrying or having kids or having a career or getting used to retirement, it's always been like that. Change has always been there, and we've always been asked to adapt, and that's really resilience. I just think social media has really put it a bit in our faces. We're going now, this is really quick, whatever, but this has always been the way it's been. I just think it's perceived to be speed up because media is constantly reminding us now of the speed of change. But change has always been there and change will always be there. And I think the people who, the survival of the fittest belongs to those people who can adjust.
Yeah.
I definitely agree. I think the answer to your question is yes, from my perspective. But every strength taken to an extreme becomes a weakness. So the more we rely on social media, etc., the more we're not doing our own investigation and doing and putting our hand on our heart and saying, are we feeling this, that this is true? And in support of what Lundy says, I think we've been fat and happy for about 50 years. I mean, let's go back to, circa 1942 and put ourselves in Europe. How's the rate of change now when we just got ripped out of our house and, got some sticker put on our arm and shipped off to Auschwitz or somewhere like that? That was the nature of what happened during history. During history, we've been living in a relatively stable environment for the last at least 30 years in this country. So from that perspective, I think we have got a bit. This is how it's always going to be, and in order for us to develop and grow as a species, I think we need to shake things up. And Lundy stole one of mine, so I'll steal one of hers back. This is what she always says when people talk about AI. She says, well, didn't our parents tell us that we weren't going to be able to use our brains when the calculator came in?
Remember the disaster.
Let alone a computer at school. Don't give the kids a computer at school. They will never be able to think. AI is just another tool.
But I think that's why we travel. That's one of the biggest reasons we travel is that if you remain insulated in your house or in your office and you're only watching the news, your life starts to run on perception as opposed to getting perspective. And every time we hit the road, our mind broadens and we get perspective again. So we come back a little bit more sober. You go, okay, I thought that was a disaster, but it's not actually a disaster. Or I thought that wasn't a disaster, but it actually really is.
It becomes very
that's a disaster.
It becomes very one-sided if you're only getting that
one
perspective.
And that's why we encourage people not to just become entrepreneurs and gain freedom, whatever, but to use this platform as business professionals or entrepreneurs or leaders of companies to travel and expose yourself and widen your perspective.
Such great advice to widen the perspective. I think it is a wonderful thing. Do we have a comment?
I don't think so.
Oh, sorry.
But just a quick one, and I'm listening to you now. AI, obviously being and traveling around the world, is that a common phrase that's popping up everywhere? Because South Africa is talking about it all the time, and we were talking about what's this revolution? The fourth industrial revolution. It was obviously also, I think it's here already.
Probably at the 12th at the moment.
Probably the 12th by now already. You know what I'm saying? So how do you find traveling, obviously, being exposed to the world? What's the common thread? Is AI one of the conversations that's obviously popping up all the time?
Everywhere. Everyone is talking about AI. Everyone is talking about, we do these masterminds around the world where we go and put 10 people in a room and then we say to them, look, what's your problems? And we solve it for them for 3 hours. And that's how we understand at grassroots level what's happening in entrepreneurship in each one of the countries. And that's why we travel. Everyone is talking about AI and what's going to happen, but everyone's also talking about what it means to be human and what's going to happen. So those two are very, very topical. Some people are very concerned about it and some people are very excited about it. And it doesn't seem to have a midway.
Oh, wow.
You seem to have school AI, and you seem to have school human, and people are very opinionated about it at the moment. And very few people go, but hey, can the two maybe hold hands? Can we maybe work together?
Wow.
But it's very topical around the world, and people have big questions, naturally so, because we are going through a quantum leap.
I've got a couple of just quick thoughts on that. When the Soccer World Cup came to South Africa in 2010, there was a massive influx of people turning places into guest houses.
Yeah.
Right? And a lot of those went broke after 2010.
Yeah.
AI is another fad. We just had social media. It sort of became popular in about 2007. It lasted till about 2022, and then in came AI. Maybe AI is not going to get 15 years at the top before the next thing comes in.
Oh, wow.
So But to me, AI often why it's being talked about is because people go, I can make money out of AI because I'm just going to say we're all AI'd now in what we do. But we've been, and now I see people going, we've been in AI for 10 years. I go, no, you haven't. You've been in AI for 10 minutes. You just think that that's a part of your branding. So I think the whole AI fad, a lot of it is smoke and mirrors in terms of who's actually doing AI and things like that. Because most people are using AI just like they use Google.
Exactly.
So
most companies are just using it like they use Google. Instead of going, where's a good place to eat in Belleville? Instead of putting that into Google, they're putting it into ChatGPT. Yeah. That's not really doing anything different.
Exactly. I saw something online the other day. Well, I'll get it wrong, but it's something like AI will make more millionaires in the next 5 years than the internet did in the last 20.
Yeah.
Yep. Or something like that.
Yeah.
You know,
That's
but
probably
there's
right.
that kind of scale that there was. That's what I saw, and that goes to your point as well. Everybody is just talking about it because they're going to make money out of it.
Yeah.
I look at it like this: if it's like, where's a good place to eat? That's it for me.
Like
That's
Google.
as far as I go.
But why does it need to be
Exactly.
anything else? And I mean, like in New Zealand, if I go back a little while, the farmers got rid of their sheep. You know, New Zealand's full of sheep, and got avocados.
Oh, wow.
They were the biggest thing for 5 years. Then those went. Then they got kiwi fruit. They were the biggest thing for 5 years. Then they went, and then they started ostrich farms. Then everybody got sick of ostrich eggs, and they went. All these people made fortunes, then lost them, made fortunes, then lost them, made fortunes, then lost them. It's like a gold rush.
Yeah.
This is just another gold rush.
And change won't change.
Yeah.
It will continue to change. Yeah.
Will develop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah, that's how it is.
Phew.
Anyway, listen, thank you so much. But we got some comments. So before we go and wrap it up with you, we've got some comments that we want to pose to you, and hopefully there is a question there. But,
Nicole.
Hi, Nicole. Nicole says there are shortcomings of conscious leadership. It can be seen as idealistic, time-intensive, risk of overemphasis on harmony, hard to sustain, and being self-aware, cultural fit issues. As per Hubert. And that is to what Hubert has said, which is brilliant. And then Hubert says, serve conscious leaders. Ask, I believe, true leadership starts with accountability to your people and your purpose.
Yep.
Between Hubert and Nicole, when you guys
I was going to say, there's Nicole
a political
again.
party, I might vote for you.
So
No,
true.
AI is not a fad, but a transformative technology that's already integrated into many aspects of life and is expected to remain relevant for the foreseeable future. Yeah?
She's right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Nicole.
Thank you
Wow.
very much. That is it.
Thank
I
you,
will
but
still
Nicole.
vote for you guys. I will still vote for you. But thank you very much for that. And that is really some great thoughts there. If you keep the comments coming, we'll have the conversation going there, of course, as well, because this is how we learn and this is how we explore our horizons in all of this. We're nearly at the end of 2025. In a lot of ways, you touched on it earlier. I got the sense from you, lady. You never said it, but I almost got the sense like you haven't worked a day in your life now. There's excitement, and you love what you do. Between the two of you can see it.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
If you could bottle passion, there it is.
Yeah, there it is.
You can see it.
Yeah.
So which is wonderful to see. I must say it is humbling to see, and it's inspiring to see. 2026 must be really brilliant. I know Mike mentioned we're going here in 4 months, 5 months, which is all happening into the new year.
Yeah.
What does 2026 look like?
Well, we first have to finish 2025. We're about to embark on a big trip. We're going Spain, USA, Canada, India, New Zealand and Australia, which takes us into 2026. So Mike is still serving out his presidential year, which started in July, and you're finishing next year, July, for the Global Speakers Federation. So that's really taking us around the world a lot. For Mike specifically to go and visit all the speakers associations and inspire them, to play a bigger game, because that's what we do. So for us, it's very much about the fact that we met each other late in our lives, so we don't want to miss a thing. Is it the Aerosmith song? I don't want to miss it. I don't want to close my eyes. Yeah. that's really driving us. It's like, we didn't meet when we were in our 20s or in our 30s. We met later. So we were like, let's make it work. 1 + 1 = 11. If two people start working together, you're not building a business, you're building an empire. So that's the driving force behind it. And then other than that, what an incredible privilege is it to inspire people.
Wow.
To inspire people and to say to people, look, what you've been handed is but a fraction of the options that's available out there for you. And, and the work we do, even though we give people a lot of business intelligence and mindset and personal and professional development, it always comes back to you not seeing the incredible potential and opportunity in you.
Sure.
And that drives us to go around the world and to say to people, you are so much more than what you give yourself credit for. And you don't have to become a genius to change the world or take over the world. You just need to realize what's within you, And so just having someone believing in you or someone encouraging you, saying, saying, have you seen these 2-3 things? Have you considered it? Can open up whole new worlds, and that makes us happy.
With that being said, yes or no?
Would that be?
With that being said, yes or no, when you engage with a prospective client or anybody that you've helped personally, professionally to develop, do you leave richer out of it? Do you feel like you've gained a lot more?
Of course, yeah.
100%, because if we don't think that we're going to, we don't take the client on.
Yes, sure. Yes.
So it has to be a mutual exchange.
Wow.
So our value system, actually, one of our values is enrichment.
Oh, wow.
So if we can't enrich you and we don't feel that you can enrich us in some way, then we're not interested. It doesn't matter how much money's involved.
And someone else can help you. Yeah.
Having the unique perspective of traveling the world, speaking to business and organizations across the planet, business leadership, everybody in the C-suite, all of these. When we look at South Africa, just to put it down here, in terms of your perspective and what you hear at these conferences and events and with other business leaders, what they would ask you, are we on a good trajectory? Are we working as hard as we could? Are we doing the right things? Are we asking the right questions? What is there that Google the layman can do to make things better?
Oh, now you're going to ask the South African. Mike is going, oh, there she goes.
I noticed that question was directed towards you.
I'm a huge patriot. Mike always say that travel, the tourism department in South Africa should actually pay me a huge amount of money. Because as far as I go across the world, I look for my fellow South Africans and I give them a lot of hope. And when I speak to local South Africans, I say to them, we're at the top of our game. We are incredibly hardworking. We're very, very solution-minded. We got an incredible dark sense of humor that makes us super resilient. And, I see it all over the world, and it's something I'm very proud of. And that is not coming from our DNA. It's born out of adversity. It's born out of tough times. It's born out of exposure. Having so many problems around us and then coming up with solutions for each of those problems. That has infiltrated not only into corporates in South Africa, that is making us quite sought after as consultants and counselors and experts worldwide. And so many times when I speak to South Africans, I say to them, the only thing that's standing in your way is your mindset or not having the confidence or not having had the exposure that I had. But I mean, I've sat at top boardrooms worldwide and we are properly trained, educated, and we're very good. And I'm not just talking about trained and educated from an academic point of view. We've had really good exposure. And so when COVID hit, we were talking to all sorts of clients from all over the world and checking in with them and hearing how you're doing, how you're coping. And this was not only South Africa. Many of our third world clients was coping 10 times better during that time of adversity and many of our first world clients, and I'm generalizing now because of the amount of things we've exposed to. So all the things our listeners are going through, all the challenges and hardship, that eventually goes onto a CV. And that makes you incredibly, incredibly competent. And if you're only willing to believe in yourself, it makes you very confident. Wow. So in my mind, we're quite up there.
Wow.
No, I couldn't agree more. I always say there's three key markets that you would recruit from in the world because they're well educated, really hardworking, and you just know you're going to get the right answers out of them. New York City, Sydney, Australia, Johannesburg, South Africa.
Sure.
And, you know, South Africans globally are thriving where they go. They're great entrepreneurs. For all the reasons Lundy said, I would just repeat what she said. So I think for anybody listening to this, you guys out there, I would definitely say to you, you know, keep doing what you do, keep learning what you learn, and don't be afraid to put yourself out there because you're as good as anybody in the world. Oh. It's not the fact that, we're in South Africa, it's, you know, down the bottom of Africa, nobody knows where we are. That's the greatest mistake you could ever make.
Yeah. Throw yourself into the deep end. It's the best thing you can do for yourself is throw yourself in the deep end and swim. Hey, we do it anyway.
we used to it.
You're not going to stop swimming, so why not do it on a global scale? You know.
Actually had a comment there on work ethic and South Africans, and there it is. South Africans' resilience and work ethics, and out there,
100%.
We know how to fail, learn and turn setbacks into success. Proudly South Africa. That's why we're listening to you. Very, very kind of you.
Thank
and
you,
yes,
Hubert.
that is why we're listening to the two of you because it is very clear why you have the reputation you have.
Oh, yeah.
And we just simply wish you the best. Should people want to get in touch with you, how do they go about it?
Well, I think LinkedIn is probably the good way.
Yeah. I've got a very full LinkedIn and Mike is getting there very quickly as well, but pop us a message on LinkedIn, connect with us on LinkedIn. If you don't get through to us on LinkedIn via LinkedIn Messenger, comment on one of our posts, and that's a very, very quick way for us to notice you or to start a conversation with you.
Yep.
Yeah, and then also you can check them out on YouTube, and then of course the website, and we've got all those details at the bottom of the screen there for you to have a peruse it. But I promise you that was my last question, and I didn't lie. I'm sticking to that.
Oh, okay, good. Right, I thought you were going to give me a quick fire question.
I do have one.
Okay.
Oh my word!
All right, World Cup final next one.
Oh my
Who plays in the final?
Well, it's definitely going to be South Africa. There's no doubt about that. I think it probably could be New Zealand. You know, it's my home team. I love the All Blacks, but I just don't think they're just not up to it at the moment. I hate to say it, but France is always a show.
Yeah.
But hopefully they'll stumble and fall like they always do.
I asked that as a joke. That is an honest answer. Here's where the trick is. The Springbok sleeps with the All Black. That's it. They live together.
That's true.
And we live in harmony.
There we go.
So me and Mike have a rule when it comes to rugby. I don't know a lot about rugby. Ask me more about fashion. But our rule is that when the All Blacks play, then we go. If the All Blacks play against someone else, then we both go for the All Blacks.
Yeah.
When the Springboks play against someone else, we both go for the Springboks.
Okay.
And we love anyone who is against Australia.
Give me a five on that one.
Oh, I'm going to be very unpopular.
Now you may comment. In case you've been waiting for that opportunity.
Thanks, guys.
Mike Landy, what can I say?
Thank you so much.
It's just been a privilege.
We needed more time.
Yeah, thank you for educating us.
Thanks for having us. We really appreciate it. We appreciate the work you do, because it's so valuable to get messages from people out into the world, and what you do is really positive, and you guys are great.
You are the epiphany of conscious leadership. Thank
exactly.
you.
Thank you.
We should be asking you.
Rhoda's got a lot of
No. Thank you, guys. Really appreciate that.
Wow, absolutely brilliant. I tell you what, a lot of inspiration came out of that one with Mike and Landy during this conversation, which is absolutely brilliant. But you can go one step further. You can get a copy of the Word magazine, of course, because you'll see them in the Word magazine. They're right there. And as you know, all the content within the Word magazine, always phenomenal, really fantastic. Word magazine team, par excellence, we all know that. And the people that they featured, of course, everybody they contribute with, collaborate with is just brilliant. But that's a very specific reason, because from our conversation, you heard all of those key concepts coming up, conscious leadership, and really what it means and where we want to go to. And I love the fact that Mike said, like, people, doesn't matter where they are, They all need the same thing. We all need love, support. Everybody wants to make a little bit more a dosh, look after themselves and their family and kind of leave the world in a sort of a better shape. That we find it in. And we sometimes feel as an island. We sometimes operate as that. We think we're the only ones who want that perception or who's pushing for that. That is not the case at all. It seems that it is a universal thing. Now, once we've established that it is, and we can all confidently say it is, and in our hearts of hearts, we know it is, the question comes, are we operating in a way that advances that range of travel? Are we traveling in the direction that we want? Ask those hard questions, whether you are business leadership, whether you are impacting your environment, your communities. Are we making those positive connections? If we're not, we've got to ask those hard questions. But what can I tell you? You've got to go check out. Go to the website. Go see Mike and Landy's work. They do really outstanding stuff. It is really phenomenal. And get in touch. Your organization might be 20 levels up in a few months from now by just making contact with them. Who knows? Rhoda's going to speak to them.
I think I need to book them.
Yeah. But that is it, Rhoda. That's my take on this.
That's it. You said everything, Dougal, to the T. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. That is it then. Once again, thank you very much to you for watching. Thank you very much to Mike Hancock and Landy Jack for being here with us today on Mahala Monday. Made it a really, really special broadcast. Told you we were looking forward to this one, and now you know why. Before we go, we'd just like to remind you, please remember to like and share and please subscribe.
Share.
Hit the button, the bell. Please do us that favor. It will be brilliant. And we appreciate you for doing this. And until next time, from all of us here, look after yourselves and everybody around you. And we'll catch you on the next episode of Mahala Monday. Until then, and thanks for all the wonderful comments. Before I forget, that was fantastic.
Thank you.
That was fantastic. Yeah, thank you very much. Until next time, cheers, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.